Hi there, so if you've tuned in and you want to get one of these and you want to get one of those, you got to do the Marathon des Sables. It's 250 kilometers south of Morocco in the Sahara Desert, multi-stage race, self-supported. It is fantastic. Just got back 10 days ago on the recovery now. It was amazing, loved every minute of it, and what an adventure. So I'm going to post this video, or maybe I might split it into three, but I'm going to talk about my clothes I wore, I'm going to talk about the sleep system I had, and I'm going to talk about some of the bits I took, some of the mandatory kit items, stuff like that. So it's definitely worth going, listen through the whole thing if you can, but it'll give you a good insight in what I did well, what I did badly. Yeah, so let's check it out and see what I've got. I'm going to start from bottom up. So trainers, I wore Innovates. These are Trail Talon 290s, very personal trainers, so I'm not advising you to wear these ones, but for me they worked really well. Got third pair, so I'm very used to them. They were brand new when I turned up at MDS, never worn them at all, but I'm very comfortable to know they fitted. Had no problems with my feet really, but I'll go into foot care a bit later on. The reason why I went for these is they've got a bit of a wider toe box, and they've got a bit of cushioning. They're not like the heavy Hoka stuff, but yeah, they work really well. You may notice they've got Velcro all the way around, and that is to take your gaiters, and these are a lifesaver. You obviously need these, and you also need to get these sewn on by a professional and glued. Don't do it yourself, be a disaster. So the gaiter, basically, I'm not going to do it, but it goes around the shoe, all the way around the Velcro, sticks all the way nicely around, and then goes up your ankle. Now these are from Myracekit. They're fantastic, very lightweight. What I liked about them was they had this strap going around here, and that gave me a bit more confidence they wouldn't slip down, but it didn't really affect me at all. But the other idea of them is you can roll these up if you don't want them around your shoes, and yeah, just put that around. It holds them up in the air. However, what I did find when I was running is after the sort of second or third day, my front of my shins really hurt, and I got like a hematoma, like quite a nasty lump on both shins, and I was like, what is that? And then some guy in my tent said, mate, I think you've got them on too tight. So I undid these slightly and didn't have them so tight, and that released that sort of pain, so that was good. I also got a little hole in both of them on the inside where obviously the feet are rubbing, and I just got a bit of my foot tape and put it on the inside and the outside, fixed the hole, no problem at all. You don't get sand in your shoes at all. You get very fine grained, very, very fine particles as you would dust and stuff like that, but nothing to worry about. So these work an absolute treat. What a lifesaver. Socks, I went for toe socks, as you're advised to do, but also I wear them anyway generally. These are from Injinji, difficult one to say that, and I took 3 pairs of socks. I wore one for the first 3 days. I then put a new pair on for the long stage, which is, well, 47 miles, and then for the marathon stage I had a fresh new pair as well. So I took 3 pairs, probably only did 2, but I wanted to basically keep my feet nice and clean and happy. So that worked out well. I also took some flip-flops, and this is one of my luxury items. You get a walk around camp in the evenings. I finished about 2:30 in the afternoons. You go to the medic tent, emails, you go and support your friends, you just wander around and you go to the toilet, things like that. You got to have a decent pair of shoes for camp. Lots of different ways of doing it. I took flip-flops. They're quite lightweight and I highly recommend those. Right, pants. I took 2 pairs of pants, just a pair of briefs, and these were just, seamless pants, decent quality, no chafing, job done. That was simple, 2 pairs. Calf sleeves, I run with these anyway in the UK. These for me were sort of good for recovery in the evenings, but during the race I wore these. I wish I'd bought white ones, but I didn't buy any for MDS, so these are the black ones. These are compressed sport ones, and they basically gave me a bit more confidence, so I didn't get sand in my shoes as well, so the gaiter just sits over the top of those. But yeah, these were good, always wear those. Now shorts, that was a tough one, big decision that. I usually run generally with just Ron Hill shorts. These are those there, that's what I took. They're quite lightweight, they've got an inner liner and they work really well. They've got a zip on the back, which is useless obviously because you've got your pack. But I won't run with these all the time at home. But I also took a pair of compressed sport compression shorts. I wouldn't wear these without these. Feel a little uncomfortable doing that. But I basically wore these for the first couple of days and they just got too hot. So I ended up wearing these at night each evening and that helped my recovery. So that was pretty good. They're my shorts. Then buffs, take some buffs. They're fantastic. You get basically loads of support from locals. Little kids come out and they see these wrapped on your wrist and they love them. They're, you know, desperate to take them off your wrist, and it's nice to give a few away. So take, say, you know, 4 buffs. I took a couple. I gave one away. It's quite sweet for the kids. But they're really good. Checkpoints, water, pour water on them. You put them around your neck, keeps you cool. So they were a definite must. And yeah, they were good. And then in the evenings, this was my lifesaver, and the mornings as well. Down jacket. Without a doubt, you have to take a decent jacket. This is a PhD jacket. So it basically is very lightweight, keeps you nice and warm. In the mornings it's very cold and you put that on straight away. In the evenings, again, gets cold as well. So you're wearing this a lot. And I wore that the first couple of nights. We had loads of wind and we had quite a cold, 2 nights were very cold. So I put that on with my sleeping bag. I got a bit too hot, but definitely a lifesaver. So the down jacket, definitely good investment. And I think you'll use that, you know, loads more in the future. So that was my jacket. Finally, hats. This was a tough one. So everyone buys one of these, and the classic hat. Here we go. Put that on, all good. Keeps the sun off your neck, keeps you off your ears, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it's very windy. It flaps around all the time like this, blows up like that, and I found I got so hot inside, it was awful. You're just like, and you're for me, the vision was, I didn't like, you know, if you're running next to someone comes up there, it's nice to talk to them, it's just got in my way. So I ended up binning that. You can take this off and get rid of it, which is fine. But I ended up basically keeping it, obviously, but not using it. And I just took my cap, my favourite cap, my good luck cap as such, destination unknown cap, and I just wore that like that, or like that. Factor 50 on the neck, factor 50 on the ears, no sunburn at all. So, and it was very hot out there, as you can imagine. Yeah, so yeah, that's everything I've got. What would I do differently? I didn't take any long trousers for the evening, and I did get cold legs because obviously you got your shorts, and I had my compression shorts on, but I still got quite cold legs when I'm cooking and things like that. And I felt a bit in the tent. Some guys had these very loose, well, we call them ninja pants, but they were pretty much like that. And they put them on, and they're pajamas as well. So that looked quite comfortable at night. And also my flip-flops. Yeah, okay, they're great flip-flops. I probably would take them again. But if you have real bad foot problems, you've got to put that in between your toes, and some people did have feet problems. But I think if you watch this video all the way through, you will probably not have such bad feet as a lot of people did. But he had a pair of sliders, which was great because it's great entertainment. Took the piss out of him throughout the whole trip, but actually he was a clever guy. So the foot goes nicely in, your toes are all free. So he had a pair of North Face ones. Were they heavy? They were quite lightweight. So maybe that's something I might think about for next time. Obviously provides entertainment for the bivouac as well, so it's all good. So that is everything to do with what I wore. So I'm going to talk about my sleep system now. Not much to it really. I took obviously a sleeping bag. This is from PhD. It's a Desert Race 2 bag. Absolutely fantastic. It's nice and lightweight, and I didn't get cold. Maybe one night a little bit chilly, but I then had my jacket, which I've talked about already. So I wear that, and that was really good. Now, what I liked about this is you can basically get a zip put in at the bottom of your sleeping bag. I found when I was with this, it must have been my metabolism, running in the day, all over the shop. So I sweated a lot at night. I'd wake up, I wasn't cold, but it just was quite sweaty and it was a bit gross. But it was quite nice because I could unzip my bottom of my bag, stick my feet out as well when I went to bed, and then zip it back up. So it gave you a bit of air inside, and that was really good. I mean, it's a fantastic sleeping bag. It is expensive. Guys had sort of Yeti sleeping bags. I think they were very happy with those as well. So yeah, you know, this is going to be with me for a while. I'm going to use this a lot. I'm not going to sell it now. I'm looking at definitely going to be doing some other multi-stage races, so this will be used a lot. So use the sleeping bag. I also had a blow-up pillow. This is from Xped. I think that's an essential item. It's nice and small, packs down, but that was really good as well because it's nice and comfortable. Now, what is the big debate is, what do you take to sleep on? I think I could have done a bit more investigation on this, and the investigation needs to be, you've actually got to lie on it and have a look at different ones. When you finally get there, you'll see other ones people have got. A guy in our tent, I don't know where he got it from, but it was more of a blow up, and it had a lot thicker. It was very noisy when he moved around at night, but you know, he was quite comfortable. He was quite a big lad. So I got given this from one of my friends. It's a mat, it's a blow up mat, about that thin. It was really good, really comfortable, but it deflated as the night went on, and when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just too tired, you can't get up, get your mat and blow it back up. You might wake people up and it's just too much of a hassle. So you ended up waking up in the morning. Well, I probably woke up 3 or 4 times during the night for a pee, because you're trying to hydrate all the time, and you wake up lying on a bit of a rock because you're on a rug, and you clear all the stones away, but you're never going to get all the stones. Some of the stones you just can't get out. So I was a bit disappointed with that. I was thinking about going proper lightweight and taking one of these roll mats and cutting it up, which I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, and I did use this, and it was pretty uncomfortable just at home. So I'm glad I took that. That was the better choice. But definitely do some more investigation on that. Now, do they get punctured? Well, they do. I was lucky because it was on the morning, would you believe it, the last morning, so it was okay, it didn't affect me. But have a look at that. See that spiky little bugger? That was actually in the bottom of my shoe, so I brought that home with me by mistake. But that's very, very sharp, and that punctured that. So if that happened on the first or second day, I would have been sleeping on a rug, which is pretty uncomfortable. So it's a difficult one. Would I have done something differently? I got one of these from, I never actually opened it up, never even tried it, which is just ridiculous because I'm thinking of sending it back. I got one of those. Again, it's the same weight, but it's massive. It's the same size as the other one, and I just thought this is just far too big. So if you can find something which is smaller, which you can blow up, and that is definitely going to be the answer. I'm going to have an investigate. I'll ask one of my friends and post it in comments, because he had one, I think, which actually folded up a bit smaller, and I'd like to find out about that. But that was your sleeping system. So you've got all your clothes, you've got your sleeping system. Now the bag. This is a tricky one. Again, this is what I took. This is the Raid Light 25 litre, and it was good. It was all right. It's for racing, and I came 70th in the end, so I did really well. I didn't expect myself to do that well, but I did. When I weighed in, they come and basically, they don't check all your kit. What they do is they get your bag, they hang it up, and they weigh it. And this came in at 9.5 kilos, right? 9.5 kilos, absolutely crazy. I went through all my kit, I threw stuff out, I checked stuff, it was still 9.5 kilos, okay? Now, unfortunately, I think the reason why it was so heavy was I took too much food, okay? And I'll talk about that in a sec. But going back to the bag, this was a great bag. The problem I had was when you put stuff in it, if you need to get something out, you have to empty it all out and empty it all in again. And there are other bags on the market which had a zip round, and these may have been updated now. They had a zip round, you can open it up and close it, and I would have done that instead of having one of these bags. I was warned about that, but I thought it would be okay. What I liked about this is it's very, very lightweight, but I still weighed in 9.5 kilos, so it's pretty pointless. I wasn't a racer, I wasn't top 50. If I was top 50 going for 6.5 kilo bag, 7 kilo bag, this is definitely what I would have taken. But I wasn't. I'm, you know, 9.5 kilos. I say it again. So what I didn't like about this bag was Here you've got pockets for your sort of race stuff, and they go right to the back. And you're running your water bottle. I took these water bottles here, and these are fantastic. Hard water bottle from Raidlight. They come with a 600ml bottle, the bag does, soft flask and hard flask. I upgraded to 800ml, bit of advice, because you need to drink as much water as possible. When you get to a checkpoint, they give you bottles, and they're 1.5 litre bottles. Okay, now 1.5 litres, you can empty one of those bottles into 2 of these, because these are 800ml each, and then you've got another bottle. You can either drink it, you can leave it, you don't have to take it. And yeah, that's why I did that. I had my tailwind in one, and I had my clear water in the other, and they worked out really well. Now they just slot into the bag here, but when you take that out to change your water over, so as you come into the checkpoint, you're running, there we are, you undo your water, look at that, all your water in, all good. But what it does is it leaves this bag at the front all loose, so you bend down and all your stuff falls out, and it happened every single checkpoint. My GoPro came out, my battery, it was just a bit of a faff all the time, and I never quite got that right, because you are knackered and you're trying to run through as quick as possible. But the art of a checkpoint, I felt, was to get through it as quick as possible. So the bag was good. That was one criticism. It doesn't have much padding here. It caused me a lot of grief. Now I went with my mat, I actually ended up cutting out a piece of foam, and I slid that inside it to give it a bit of padding. Okay, now that would have obviously helped. What they do is they put one of these tags here, a GPS tag, a tracker tag here, and they couldn't find a decent place to put it on there, which is ridiculous, because this is like, you know, a bag designed to race for the MDS. And they put these little plastic clips, cable ties, yeah, and that rubbed on my shoulder the first day and really hurt, so I had to go back the next day and get them to cut them off and redo it. So that was really annoying, and it actually did end up cutting my shoulder slightly. I suffered because of the weight of the bag. It smashed my shoulder right up on the right hand side. This one was fine, so I'm obviously running at some sort of angle, I don't know what, but that really hurt. And so the weight of the bag is crucial. I think you've got to be getting down to 8.5 kilos, a minimum to start off with, because obviously once you start eating your food, the bag becomes lighter. First day it was a nightmare, second day it was really tough, third day things started to improve, fourth day, fifth day it was fine. So it's the weight of the bag is crucial. Would I use this bag again? No, I probably wouldn't. I mean, it has got nice little adjustments here, but I am quite thin, so even this, I don't know what size this is, probably a medium or something, but it still needed to be tighter on me. Had a little zip pocket there, so you could put your passport, your 200 euros and your insurance certificate there. You get given, for the water, when you finish the race, each day, you get given 4 bottles of water. I think one of the days you get more, but 4 bottles of water, and they give you this little Hessian bag, and they put and you've got to look after that. So this was quite good, this bag, because you could just put that on the outside, so when you finish and you are tired, you can just get that out. I couldn't reach over, but they can get it out, and they then put your water in that bag, so that was really good. And your poo bags as well you get given, so I always kept them on the outside as well. So yeah, pretty cool bag, but I would probably change that and make a different decision on that. So that's that. There's my tag, so that's the tag you get. So yeah, so that's my sleep system, and that is the bag I took. So I'm going to go on to the kit items. Mandatory kit items and other things I took. Bearing in mind, bag weight, again, 9.5 kilos, and this becomes a bit of an issue, some of the stuff I took. Let's start off. So you need a medical certificate, you get given that, and I've got unfortunately you give it to them, they take it, but that's a medical certificate I got from another race. Very difficult to get done in the UK. My doctor was fantastic in Guildford, thank you for that. They do an ECG as well. Now, don't freak out over this, but there was one person who turned up and they got turned away at the race. They look at your ECG in detail. Very important. It's clear. Mine was a photocopy, but it was a good photocopy. The guy in front of me, his wasn't a good photocopy, and he had to then go and get a ECG done. I think it's a couple of €100. But when they looked at my ECG, they have a good old look at it, and anyway, as we walked off to the next sort of part where they checked some other bits and pieces, they said, yeah, we had to send someone away, which is very sad, because obviously they've looked at the ECG and there's a problem with it, i.e. heart murmur or something like that. I'm not a doctor, but yeah. So the ECG is critical, so get that done. You take your passport all the time with you, and €200 cash you have on you all the time. You never spend any money, and that €200 stays with you all the time, and obviously your passport's your passport. So you've got those bits, and let's start off with extractor. This is bite and sting one. If you get bitten by a snake or something like that, yeah, you need this to take with you. It comes in a big box like this. You don't need the box, get rid of the box. Just need that, the extractor and the plastic plug kind of thingy. Definitely worth having a little go on it before you actually, when you're out there, you never know what might happen. Did we see any nasties? We did. We saw a little spider, a camel spider. It was on one of our campmates' chests like that. I'll put a picture up, and yeah, it was there. I think they grow to become quite large. There is some nasties out there. So anyway, you need that. It's mandatory. Hand gel. This is antibacterial hand gel. That's a big pot, 100 ml. That has been used quite a lot. There's about a quarter of it left. You can take a smaller pot, but I decided to take a larger one so I didn't have to worry about it. Some guys did run out. That's the larger pot, but you could probably get away with the smaller one if you're very careful when you use it. But that's essential. Hygiene is essential on this whole race. When you cook, when you go to the toilet, hygiene is important. Penknife. Took a little Swiss Army knife. Love these. You'll use this a lot. You need your knife when you eat. You basically get your water bottle, you cut it in half, and you use the bottom half as your bowl. Put your dry food in, add your hot water, job is done. This also has a pair of scissors on it. That is essential. The knife you take, make sure you've got a pair of scissors to cut your foot tape and stuff like that. So that was a really handy item to have. Little signalling mirror, lighter, which now just about works. Yeah, it kept blowing out in the wind, it's a bit annoying. One of the guys had one of the sort of flame thrower ones. It was like a sort of pretty powerful one, like that. That was really good. So I'd invest in that rather than one of these lighters. But hey, you'll use that a lot. And sun cream. That's an essential item. This is a big 60 ml pot. It's called Tinglat. Again, get that from Myracekit. Really good. Put it on my arms, put it on my neck, put it on my ears throughout the day. Never put it on once, didn't bother. Again, and I never got any sunburn. Okay, so that is an essential bit of kit. You can buy two smaller kind of bottles of it. And that might be quite useful because once you've used one, you can get rid of it and it becomes more lightweight because you're carrying around this. So I may have done that next time. Lip balm, SPF 50 or 20, whatever it is, you need lip balm. Lots of guys got really sore lips, sunburnt lips, some were bleeding and things like that. So I used my lip balm, didn't have any problems at all. Still got quite dry lips though. Yeah, the sun is pretty brutal out there. Survival blanket, yeah, say no more. I also took with me, again from my race kit, I bought this anyway, not just for MDS, but I run with a first aid kit, primarily for someone else. If someone gets injured, I like to think that I can help them out. I've got a first aid certificate, so I know how important it is. So I took that. It was an extra bit of weight, but I just feel a bit more comfortable taking a first aid kit with me. What else have I got here? Loo roll. That is how much is left of my loo roll. That was a full roll. You will need your loo roll. You'll basically, how to go to the toilet. You get given a poo bag, it's like a compostable brown bag. You take it to the toilet, which is like a stand hidden. I'll show a picture now of what you sit in. And yeah, you need your loo roll. I took some wet wipes as well. Not a big packet, just a pack of 10. And they did me proud. So that is important. What else you could have, and I did another video earlier, so I've unfortunately used it up, but it's called Pits and Bits, and basically you pour a bit of water on it and it little cylinder, and it pops up and it turns into a lovely flannel. And they were brilliant, and they're really firm as well. They were fantastic. So you can do your armpits and your bits and all that. and that was fantastic. I would take 20 of those, 20 little pellets, not just 10, because then you can sort of enjoy a good clean up, maybe in the morning and in the evening, and makes you feel so much better. So they were really good. And what else have I got here? Earplugs. Yeah, I probably snore, everyone snores. We had 3 big snorers in our tent and it was super loud. So yeah, earplugs which don't work, don't know. I put them in at night and ended up waking up, couldn't find them, so I probably lost them in the end, but take earplugs anyway, it's worth a go. Toothpaste and toothbrush. Absolutely pointless cutting the end off. My bag was 9.5 kilos. What would that do? What would that save? And it was a bit of a pain, so I couldn't clean my teeth. But anyway, there you go. I heard someone did it, so I did it for a bit of a laugh, and I took a little bit of tube of toothpaste as well. So clean your teeth day and night. That was all good. Yeah. Anti-chafe stuff. I took Squirrel's nut butter. This stuff's great. I got massively bad chafing on my shoulders from the pack, and I got really bad chafing on my back. And I would apply this though in between my legs and everywhere else. And I had to stop at one point in the middle of the race to take, at the beginning anyway, to take my pack off and rub this on my back. It was really bad. I think it was the second day. It was horrible. But I ended up going to the medic tent that night because I saw people with big bits of tape, sticky tape, like that, and you cut them out and you just slap that right across your back and it won't come off and you won't get any chafing. I suggest you do that at the beginning of the race anyway. I would next time. I also took rock tape, which I haven't got any left because I've used it all up. That's the sort of stretchy tape you get, physio tape, and I put 2 strips right across there and across there because the first day, as I said, and second day I got sort of really bad grazing here and I just stuck it over the top. Ripping it off at the end was really painful because obviously you're taking off raw skin, but at the time it sounds nasty, but it was much better just to have the tape on. But yeah, anti-chafe stuff, that was alright, worked quite well. And right, these I wouldn't take again, soap leaves. That top there, as I said, didn't wash it, so didn't really worry about it. These are my soap leaves, and basically what you do with those is you put these into a plastic bag, fill it with water, put your top in, swish it around, some of these, and you get a nice sort of smelly clean top. The guys were using these quite a bit. I thought, I didn't really think there was much point in having a wash, so I wouldn't take them again. Right, very important item, head torches. So you've got to take a head torch, you've got to take spare batteries, all right? I use a Petzl Neo. They're quite large and they've got a big battery at the back, so I would have had to take 2 large batteries and that, so I binned that and I ended up buying myself a silver, there's loads of different types you can get, silver lamp like that. It's 50 quid, quite lightweight. That was really good. Now I also took some batteries. For some reason it takes 3 batteries, 3 AAAs, but I took 4. I don't know why I did that, but anyway, there we go. Extra weight, 9.5 kilos. So that basically takes the batteries, so I use that. Now I only use that because on the long race, on the long day, I finished about 8:30 in the evening, so you only got an hour and a half. You have to turn your lamp on at 7 o'clock, obligatory, and they put a little glow light on you as well. It's pretty cool. And yeah, so that basically only really needed that for an hour and a half. But during camp, a lot of people wore these all the time, but I didn't because I didn't want to waste the battery. But actually I could have worn it all the time. This is a really nice lamp as well. I don't know if it's gonna if it's got any batteries in it left. No, it's all run out, but it's got a red and amber setting, which was nice and social. However, what I did do, which actually worked out really well, was I took one of these little Petzl light ones, and at night I wrapped that round my wrist and then went to bed like that. And basically when I woke up, as I said, I got up 3 times in the night, most nights, for a pee. You were able just to turn your light on, you knew exactly where you were, and that was quite handy. And the nice thing about this, it's got a red light setting as well. So again, yeah, nice and social for the for your tent mates. So yeah, that was a good little tip. That I'd say I was happy about that one. Right, what else? I took music. I don't run with music, never really, but I did take it on the long ultra runs. I generally might put it up to perk myself up a bit, give him a bit of a boost. Problem was I forgot my charger, because remember, every gadget you need to charge it, and that was a right old dilemma. What do you do? How do you do it? Okay, so every gadget you need to take a charging cable. So I've got my phone, I've got my GoPro, I've got my iPod Shuffle. Okay, now I forgot my charger for that, my charging cable. So that was the end of that. The first night everyone was snoring, so I put it on, listened to a podcast, fell asleep. Podcast was on all night, and yeah, ran out of batteries. So that was pointless. I did bring that back with me though, because I do like it. So that was pointless taking it, but a lot of guys had their music, and it's really nice in the evenings just to put some tunes on, go to sleep, done. So I'd recommend definitely taking something like that. And this is where weight sort of becomes quite an issue now. So I ran with my Suunto 9. This is a brilliant watch. I use it all the time, love it. I put it on ultra mode. It only used something like 55% of the battery throughout the whole event. So I love this watch. Quite a few people had Garmin, and they turned them off each night and they had to recharge and all that. But that worked superb. If you set it up right, it lasts forever. I really recommend Suunto anyway. However, what was annoying was when I got back and I uploaded it onto Strava. Obviously, you load it up to Suunto, it collects all the data correctly, but on Strava it was saying I was doing 1 minute kilometers, and basically this was set to a GPS signal of 10 seconds. You can have it every 1 second when it's a best rating, but it was obviously on an ultra rating. I put it on a low setting, so it's every 10 seconds, pinging every 10 seconds. So yeah, my data wasn't quite right on Strava, but hey, I didn't really mind that. So took my watch, didn't take a charger for that, but I did take a charger cable, but didn't need it. That was brilliant. GoPro. I wanted to record stuff, as you'll see, quite into my videos and things like that. So I took my GoPro. I also took a tripod, one of the larger ones. That fell apart. One of the brackets on it fell off when I was running, which was really annoying. So I ended up just giving that to one of the Sherpas. Don't know what he's going to do with it, because I doubt that he's got a GoPro. But that was really good to take. It's quite heavy, but it's okay. Have it in your pocket. It's all good. However, the battery life on these is absolutely rubbish. And the reason is, I don't know what the reason is. In one respect, should it have an update on it? I don't know. It's a massive complaint, I think. But also, if you leave your battery in there overnight, it drains the battery. And stupidly, I did that on the first couple of nights and then didn't think about it, because you go to bed, blah, 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 tired. So if you take the battery out, you then put it back in, the percentage stays the same. One guy took a GoPro and it drained it within the first day. I took four batteries, and I took an Anker charger, which I left out in the Sahara, and that basically, a little power pack, and that charged this up once, and it also charged my phone up, which I took my phone, and that charged it up once as well. That was it. Some guys have got pebble chargers. Guy in our tent took two pebble power packs, but he took loads of video with his phone. So big decision that, but be careful of that. If you do take a GoPro, the battery life on these is rubbish. So that's that GoPro. What else have I got here? Yes, so let's talk about the most important items. Let's go through certain things. I'll tell you what I'll do first, is I'll do my cooking, because that isn't the most important. So, cook set. I took Esbit stove, which is this little one in here. Let's get that out. Tricky getting it out because it's a bit spiky. There we go. So that's your little Esbit stove. You buy Esbit blocks when you're there, €10 for a pack. I bought 2 packs. That means I could have my coffee, I had tomato soup, and I had my meal as well. So that folds out like that. Very lightweight, very easy. And then I took a cup. This is a small cup. This is a 450ml cup. Didn't go for the big cup. A lot of guys did have the big cup, and that just sits on that. Absolutely fine, because that gives you enough water to pour into your cut plastic bottle with your dry foods. That was great. That worked really well. What I maybe would have taken better was I would have made a lid, or got a lid for this. You can make one out of tin foil. Luckily I took some tin foil with me, and I managed to form a little lid and wrap it over the top. Just keeps the heat in when you're cooking, and maybe it cooks quicker. But also, what I wish I'd taken was, a guy had like a quite a large foil kind of wrap which went around, and it stopped the wind from coming in. That was pretty cool, because it is really windy, so it basically is easier cooking. The flames going all over the shop. So what I did, which was quite fun anyway, is I get my rocks, put it around, and again you'll see it. I'll pop a picture up now. But yeah, that was quite fun. So I would have probably bought one of these kind of wraps. Well, that worked really well. Basically 2 packs of Esbit blocks. That was all good. Food wise, I took too much food, far too much food. This is kind of how it looked, and these are just inside, it's not the food, but this is how it looks. You have to label all your stuff. This is day 6. I've got porridge, vitamin drink, energy bars, apple. So day 6 was the marathon stage. Apple smoothie, soup. I've got my 2 tailwinds, cliff shots. Just, it weighs 808 kilos. I didn't need 3,100 kilos a day. Calories a day. I needed about 2,500 to 2,700, probably 2,700 every day, plus a bit more for one of the days. I didn't go hungry. Loads of people have got food there, so I took just too much food. That's a big thing, but that's what they kind of come with. And in here, there's just leftovers, some people chucking stuff at me. But I ran with Tailwind. That's awesome. If you haven't tried it, it's definitely worth doing. It's got carbohydrates in it. It's quite lightweight. And you just pull that, I pulled that into one bottle, and then I had a clear water bottle there, so you get sort of 2 different tastes. So that worked out really well. I only needed 2 of these during each stage. The long stage, I took some other bits as well. I took a couple of gels. These are very heavy. I'm not a fan of gels. They're very messy. They are quite tasty. Goo gels are pretty good. But I prefer powders, and then it's not so sticky, because you fold these up and put them in your pack, and if it leaks and stuff, it's just horrible. So that was that. And this is just stuff people threw away. These look quite good. I haven't tried these yet. Yeah, these are drinks, my smoothies from Lyo. So I did a vegetarian diet when I was out there, and I got everything from Lyo. It was about 220 euros. You get everything, and it's really good. Really nice stuff. But these were messy. But they were pretty good. Cliff blocks, fantastic. These are excellent. A lot of guys were using Cliff bars. I've run with them. I've over OD'd on them really, so I don't really use them. But these were really, really good, and because they are heavy. But Cliff blocks were a saviour for me. And yeah, so that's just stuff people gave me at the end. So that was the food. Right, what else we got? Right, let's. I'll tell you what, I'm going to talk now about 2 most important things. What you're told to do is take these. These are salt tablets. You get a bag of them given to you at the beginning of the race. Okay, I don't know how many are in there, 120. This is what I got left over. I took my salt tablets religiously. Okay, you take 2 salt tablets every 1.5 litres of water you drink. So every bottle of water you drink, you take 2 salt tablets. Put them in your mouth and just keep drinking your water. It's fine. Get to a checkpoint. Before I got to a checkpoint, I put 2 salt tablets in my mouth, and then you finish off your water, you go to the next checkpoint. I was drinking about 1.5 litres per checkpoint. If then you've done over, I think it's 5 hours of exertion, you take another 4 on top of what you've taken. Okay, that's what I did. I didn't take any in the evening. I think occasionally I might have taken 2 just so I went to bed. And in the morning I'll take 2 straight away. Okay, now you know you've got the salt inside you because your fingers swell up. Probably other parts of your body swell up as well, you don't notice that, but your fingers do, because your rings get quite tight on your hand and you get a little swelling there. So you know you have got the right amount of salt, maybe too much salt in your body, but over the period of you're out there, it's not going to do any damage to your liver or your kidneys. I didn't get dehydrated at all. Okay, when I finished my race I felt really, really sick. Now, I didn't realise what that was until the long stage, and what they do is as you come through at the end, you finish, and they give you a lovely little cup of tea. It's a very sweet Moroccan tea, minty sweet tea, and I drank that as I finished the 1st, 2nd and 3rd day. I then got in the tent and felt really, really sick, and I reckon it was the sugar hitting my stomach and then making me feel terrible. It might have been that, because on the long stage I ended up doing the same thing, having this tea, drinking this tea, and I felt really sick and had to throw up, and I had about another 16k to go. So that might be that. But the salt tablets, they tell you what to do that, because I saw some casualties when I was out there. So elite, and there was an elite runner and he was really struggling, and I'm not sure whether he did or didn't take his salt tablets, but rumour had it he hadn't. So salt tablets are most important. The other most important thing are your feet. I had no real problems with my feet, and the reason why I had no problems is because I taped my feet. Okay, this is called Haplatape, and you are told to tape. There's a video out there. I'll put a video on taping my feet if you want. Ask me and I can do it. But there is another video by Rory Coleman, worth taking a look. You tape your big toe, your second toe in, and your little toe. If you've got any other areas which are creating hot spots, you would do that, but I don't. So I did that every morning. Okay, I didn't do it because I had a blister coming. I just did it. What you do is you buy this. It's called a benzoin tincture. It's like an alcohol. It's quite sort of caramelly smell. And what you do is you buy these on Amazon. They're little mini spray bottles. Decant that into that, so you don't have a big bottle of that to take with you, okay? Because people are throwing these away. And you spray on your feet first of all, a couple of sprays. It's nice and sticky, and the Haplatape then sticks to your feet really well, okay? What I also did was, before I went, I cut all my tape up, and that just made my life in the morning a lot easier. I had probably about 140 pieces of tape, so I spent a bit of time and I marked them all up, so I knew exactly every morning what I was going to do with my feet. Yes, I did get some blisters. I got one underneath one of my toes which I hadn't taped, which was a bit weird, and my two toes, which is the second toe in for my big toe, I had a callus on there, and I stupidly cut that about 2 weeks before. I shaved it right off 2 weeks before, and that was obviously soft skin, and that caused me a big problem for the first, I think it's the first day. But you go to Doc Trotters, they just scalpel it, they take it, they put some iodine on it, it's fine. You don't put this tape over the top of blisters. You'll get some gauze and just put that on, then tape them. So that toe actually recovered by the sort of 5th and 6th day. And then one of my other toes, I've got a black toenail, and again, yeah, you know, that's nothing really. So my feet were, I think, fantastic, and I never had any problems, and it never slowed me down when I was running. So that is important. I also, which worked out really well, because I gave that cream away on the first day, and I'm really glad I didn't, but this cream here is fantastic, and I put that on my, so I taped my feet and I put that on my feet as well. So I reckon I belt and braced my feet and I didn't have any problems. So yeah, that is another most important item. Right, I think that's about everything I can think of. If there's anything you want me to, if there's any questions you want me to answer, leave something in the comments. I can help out anything you want, any advice I hope I can give. Bear in mind that I'm a 45-year-old runner. I've done quite a lot of running previously. My feet were very well worn, so I'm not new to ultras. I did a 100-miler last year. I've done quite a few 50s, so I am, quite used to doing these long distance stuff. I went in at 67 kilos, so I'm not a big eater. I am at home eat a lot, but I'm, when I'm running and stuff like that, I'm not a big eater. So you've got to bear that in mind. I did take recovery drinks. I took dates and nuts and things like that, but I think really something like that is probably essential. I did take some, I vacuum packed all my food and I did take this, but I wish I'd taken one of these for every night. I think that's got all the essential items in there. I also took a vitamin pill as well, so I had a vitamin pill every night as well, just to keep myself topped up. Don't know if that helped. Don't really if there's anything else. If I'd go again, I'd definitely get that bag down, and I'd get that bag down to about 8.5 kilos. How I do that though is pretty tricky. So hopefully that's been helpful. Like it, subscribe, share it, and yeah, thanks for watching.